Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 27th of August. It is Tuesday. We do have a 9-game main slate. There's a 6-game slate that starts all of, I don't even know, like 40 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier. Um, but for this video, we're just going to focus on this 9-game main. As always, this is me looking at DraftKings, as that is where a majority of my action is. If you're on FanDuel, I would cut my pitcher pool into a half or even a third, just because obviously scoring system different, pricing isn't quite as tight, uh, and we can focus on getting our stacks around a certain handful of pitchers. We don't really have to punt ever. Uh, but then again, I don't really punt on DraftKings either. But let's dig in here quick. I have not seen anything about weather, so we can just take pitching for what it is at this point. Flaherty against Baltimore, a team that he was traded to last season. Um, Baltimore's been kind of all over the place recently, so maybe Flaherty becomes an option. Um, Not somebody I'm overly excited about using, to be honest, but pitching in LA certainly helps. It's a minus 205 favorite right now, which is pretty strong. Game total actually is sitting at 9, which feels heavy as well. K prop 5.5, which you strongly on the over. So I think Flaherty's certainly an interesting spot. Not somebody I'm hurrying to jam in. Uh, at this point, I would definitely rather play Dylan Cease. Cease's recent performances have not been stellar by any means, kind of trending downhill after his no hitter. But uh, St. Louis, nothing that we're really worried about at all. His average against on the road has been extremely impressive. Just some other underlying numbers that aren't all that great. Home runs and walks have been an issue, more so on the road than at home. K prop is 6.5. Juices on the under, but still, Cease definitely a minus 135 favorite. Feels like a guy that could put up an impressive performance. Logan Gilbert, I'm going to pick on Tampa Bay again. Gilbert has not been sharp his last two, and in 4 out of his last 6, really. I mean, this start here, unearned runs, so maybe 3 out of his last 6, but still, Gilbert definitely going to be strongly in play for me. A minus 155 favorite. Game total of just 6.5. Uh, K prop was 7.5 with juice actually on the over even. Um, I expect Gilbert to be pretty popular. Cease as well. Meaning Flaherty probably is not going to draw much ownership, which intrigues me a little bit. Spencer Swellenbach. The Twins actually do not strike out a whole lot as a team. Um, Kind of in the bottom 6, 7 teams. I was looking at it yesterday. I don't remember exactly. But Schwellenbach's been racking up strikeouts. So it's an interesting matchup. His K prop sitting at 6.5. Just slightly on the under. But still, that's a pretty solid K prop for Schwellenbach. Right now, the game's currently a pick 'em. Atlanta did put up a ton of runs last night. So I think he's definitely in play for us. Logan Webb, I much prefer him when pitching at home. He doesn't, I mean, his strikeouts go up on the road. It's not like he starts to allowing more home runs or anything, just more base runners in general. But he's been throwing the ball so well. Problem is his K upside is somewhat limited. He's not a huge K guy. Um, he is a minus 115 favorite right now. K prop of 5.5 with juice on the over. So maybe he's somebody we need to consider on the road here. It's not a spot I usually love taking him, so I'm gonna have to think about it as the day goes on. Brandon Pfaadt hasn't been overly sharp from a run standpoint, but the K's have been there at times. It's the Mets. I don't think I'm going to Brandon Pfaadt, unfortunately. Uh, the Mets offense has just been pretty strong, and I feel like Pfaadt probably is in line to give up, 3 to 5 runs, maybe only pick up 4 to 6 strikeouts. Nothing we can't get elsewhere, to be honest. Garrett Crochet, gonna point it out, he's basically throwing 60 pitches per appearance. He has to be super efficient with them, so he'd have to have this start like he did against Houston. I just don't see it. Getting an extra day of rest. I'm probably, I'm passing on Crochet basically the rest of the season. At this point, Tobias Myers might be interesting. I'm not really sure. I don't necessarily love his overall upside. He does randomly have strikeout performances, um, but then these last 2 games are kind of what I would expect more out of him. Uh, so I'm just not sure I want to go to Tobias Myers. Like I mentioned, San Francisco is actually favored in that game. Myers is K prop 5.5 with juice on the under. And as we scroll down, Springs is somebody I want to use. He kind of took a step back, and it really looks like they're just capping him in the mid 80s, anyways, for pitches. I will end up using him just because of his K prop and create upside in this matchup. K prop 5.5 with juice on the over. Obviously, low total game, slight underdog. Seattle is a minus 155 favorite, but I think it is a solid spot. It's just a volatile one with the way that Springs has looked in his return from, I believe he had Tommy John. Simeon Woods Richardson, certainly capable of mid 20s fantasy points. It's been pretty strong at home. I think, like I mentioned with Schwellenbach, I think he's actually favored. Oh, actually, it was a pick 'em. Um, right now, I would say I'm going to include Woods Richardson, but I don't have a problem finding a way to remove him from my pool, especially with Andrew Haney down there, same price point, in a much better matchup. Uh, and he's shown the ability to get, 30 fantasy points, which is obviously huge. Uh, he's a minus 148 favorite. K prop at 5.5 with juice on the over as well. Um, I think Haney is certainly going to be extremely popular, to be honest. Um, as we go down, I'm not really considering anybody else, unfortunately. Uh, I mean, bad offenses in Coors, maybe you consider both pitchers, but I don't think I really want to go there at this point. So, but there we have it. There's the first look at pitching for today. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us and get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.